I think it depends, because there's ways to change the way we feel or think about something. Like, say, I would have an example of when it's really, really cold outside, painfully cold, and your eyelashes are having icicles on them. It's hard to bear, but when I tell myself it's only a moment in time, it kind of makes it easier, and I can tell myself, okay, this is going to pass. So there's a way to kind of change your mindset to make things more easier, to make it better. But if it's something like mental health, it's so much more complicated than just go out and smell the flowers. So I'd say if it's clinical depression, you can't just wish it away. I think there's a way to some extent change your mindset, yes, but it's not going to go away because of happy thoughts. So how can we become better at choosing our attitude is probably with practice. Because the more you do it and the more you consciously try and do it, the more that you're going to be able to do it and that you will do it. If you're not thinking about doing it, then you won't, and it's just not going to become a habit. It's like that right brain, left brain. It's got to go from one side to the other by practice, and eventually it just kind of clicks in and it becomes a better attitude. So if you're not consciously trying continually to do it, it's just not going to happen. So I do think it's very important that if it is really out of your control, things are spinning and you can't, like, it's destroying aspects of your life, then it is time to get help and at least tell somebody so that they can help you make that stepping stone.
Wow, what an incredible post as I sit here after a counseling session. We're doing the EMDR, and I forget what they all stand for, but it's basically eye movement and something in relaxation. I really hope you get this message. That was a killer post. And like I said, like I'm indicating here, the timing on it was crazy. Yep. Working through some past stuff. So, which I'm not going to get into publicly. So, be that as it may, thank you. That's my point. Yeah.
Hey, what's up? My name's Veronica. So I adapt to change very, very easily for the most part. And my life, it's easy for me to just kind of go with the flow and see what happens. I've come across a lot of people who really don't know how to do that. For me, I always kind of just try to look at a situation and say, okay, keep moving. Let's keep doing this. Let's figure this out. Let's solve this problem. Let's make it to where it's not an issue. And that's just kind of the way I've learned to navigate, through life, and it's what works for me. My son, on the other hand, is not like that. He does not adapt well to change. He gets anxious and, he gets a little insecure, and he's got a lot of things going on in his life with PTSD and ADHD and things like that. But I just met a lot of people who just don't have that skill, and so they kind of can't really change their attitude. They can't really view what they're doing as an issue, because it's just who they are. I think that there are just some of us who have the ability to do it well, and there's some of us who can do it on occasion, and there are just those people who seriously just can't. And I don't necessarily think that just because you can't, you have a psychological disorder, or you're depressed, or you have something wrong with you. I just think it's a personality type, and there's nothing wrong with it, I think, but it just, for me as an individual, I couldn't see myself being with somebody like that anymore, at least. So yeah, I think it's just a person's ability to adapt to change on whether or not they can choose their attitude, because an attitude is a big part of who you are. It's how you carry yourself. It's how you react to situations. So it definitely has to be something you either know how to do or you don't.
Of course, you can change your attitude, the way you think about things and how you feel about things. It's not about our feelings, but about how we think about things. That is the point. And anybody who is aware of CBT skills or understands that the thought comes first before the feelings. So yes, it could be 20 below, but if somebody likes that kind of weather, they'll be thinking, this is nice, this is like what I would like. So external things around us affect us, but our thinking is our own. So we are responsible how we think, how we behave, how we act. Nobody else or no one else does it for us.
Asking, can we choose our attitude? Now, in your blurb, you were talking about, excuse me, if you have a mental health issue like anxiety or depression or something, that you need help. And that I agree with. But when I think of attitude, I think of overall. Because I have anxiety, and I'm not ashamed to say this. I have minor anxiety, and I take medication for it. This was only within the last few years. But I still believe I have a good attitude, and a good attitude comes from within, I believe. I think it comes from waking up every day and choosing, okay, it's tomorrow it's going to snow and freezing rain, and there are some people who are saying, oh, it's gloomy out and it's not sunny and I don't know what to do, it makes me sad. Okay, well, you can decide at that point what you're going to do. You can say, it's so cold out there, and the example you gave about the icicles, if you're dripping from your eyelashes, or hanging from your eyelashes, yes, you can say, oh my goodness, it's so cold out there, but you can also say, it is cold, but it's okay. It's because it's going to change. It's going to get warmer, for example. And with a gloomy outside, that just has to do with looking at the glass half empty or half full, or half full, looking at the glass half empty. And I choose. I believe I'm 44. I believe that I choose to look at the glass half full. And I think when you do that, life is much, much easier. Yeah, I think we all have the ability to look at something and decide, are we going to let this get us down, or are we going to look at it positively? And that, it's interesting you asked this question, because I don't think attitude has to do with things that happen in our lives, because everyone has trials and tribulations in your life and things that are hard and make us sad for the time being. But it's a general choice of, okay, what am I going to do with the life I'm given? I believe in God, but some people don't. So what am I going to do with the life God gave me, or the life that I am given just by nature? Am I going to walk through it with a good attitude? Am I not? So I do believe it's choice.